Miss GoElectric here, and welcome to the first episode of my weekly EV industry news series, which I'm calling The Current. My aim is to deliver the top stories in EV in a condensed format, along with insights and explanations you can't find anywhere else. The week started off strong with the unveiling of new EV models by several manufacturers. Let's start with the upcoming Dodge Charger Daytona EV. While the concept was revealed at Dodge Speed Week in 2022, Dodge has finally provided production information this week. They're calling this the quickest and most powerful electric muscle car in the world. Let's look into the specifications. This will be the first vehicle to debut on the STLA large platform by Dodge's parent company, Stellantis. Based on a 400-volt architecture, the Charger Daytona relies on a 100.5 kilowatt-hour prismatic battery pack using nickel, cobalt, aluminum chemistry. Dodge says the range will hit more than 317 miles for the RT version and 260 miles for the Scat Pack trim. A paddle shifter mounted on the steering wheel will allow users to switch between 3 modes of regenerative braking, balancing feel and efficiency. And you're probably wondering, how fast could a charger charge if a charger charged on a 350 kilowatt DC fast charger? Well, Dodge claims a subpar charging time from 20% to 80% in about 27 minutes. All Charger EVs will come standard with all-wheel drive. The Daytona EV models feature a front motor clutch disconnect for familiar handling and/or improved efficiency and range. The rear motor axle offers a mechanical limited slip differential for better traction and performance. A power boost button on the steering wheel of the Scat Pack variant will allow it to deliver up to 670 horsepower for a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of 3.3 seconds. They claim it can cover a quarter mile in 11.5 seconds. While it's not nearly as quick as Tesla's Model S Plaid's 8.73 second quarter mile, the Scat Pack is the fastest Dodge Charger EV announced, at least for now. As you might expect from Dodge, these EVs will offer 2 new race options, donut mode and drift mode. There is a patent pending for their Fratsonic chambered exhaust, which is designed to deliver Hellcat-level sounds up to 126 decibels for those who prefer noisy shenanigans. What's your take on EVs making a lot of synthetic engine sounds? Let me know in the comments below. Tech features include a digital key, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, augmented reality head-up display, and up to 18-speaker, 914-watt Alpine sound system. With the optional track pack, owners gain a drive experience recorder, which provides in-car synchronized logging of audio, video, and vehicle data. The hidden hatch trunk design has a maximum rear cargo area of 38.5 cubic feet, a whopping 133% more space than previous Dodge Chargers. Blink, and you might miss an itty-bitty 1.5 cubic foot frunk under the hood. Production of the Dodge Charger Daytona is scheduled to begin mid-2024 at the Windsor, Ontario assembly plant for the 2-door variant. 4-door variants are slated to begin production in Q1 of 2025. In 2025, we can also expect the 800-volt SRT Banshee edition with over 800 horsepower. Dodge did not announce any pricing. I want to hear what you think of the 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona EV and if you would consider buying one. Personally, I'm excited to see EVs in more shapes and sizes, including the muscle car. The superior performance of EVs has been proven, but Dodge seems to be making a product which fits their existing customers, who may not otherwise be tempted to drive electric. I look forward to seeing them, but perhaps not as much to hearing them. All right, let's move on to our next story. Rivian has taken the cover off their upcoming models on their R2 platform. Let's dive in.
I'm grateful to Rivian for inviting me to be at the unveiling in person, even though I couldn't make it out for this one. Here are my takeaways from the live presentation. R2 is about 15 inches shorter than the R1S and offers 5 seats. It will be available in 3 powertrain options: single motor rear-wheel drive, dual motor all-wheel drive, and tri-motor with 2 motors at the rear. 0 to 60 mile per hour figures are projected under 3 seconds. The structural battery pack will contain a new 4695 sized cell, although we don't know who is producing it. The largest batteries will enable at least 300 miles of range. R2 will have 11 cameras and 5 radars and a more powerful computer. Rivian claims that combination will enable hands-off driving assist. I noticed they moved the charge port door to the rear passenger side. There is speculation that this location is conducive to curbside public charging in urban environments. The rear tailgate window rolls down and the back side windows pop open to vent for an open-air feeling, much like the Fisker Ocean's California mode. While my Rivian R1T has no glove box, the R2 will have 2 glove boxes. A new steering wheel has novel haptic controls, which I suspect will probably debut in a future R1. All of the seats fold down completely flat to support large items or even a camping mattress in the vehicle. Rivian says the R2 will start at $45,000 and will be manufactured in Normal, Illinois alongside the R1 vehicles and delivery vans. This will enable a quicker to market time compared to waiting for the new factory in Georgia to be constructed. Deliveries for the R2 will start the first half of 2026. They collected about 70,000 reservations within the first day. Rivian kept a couple other big secrets ahead of the event. This is the R3 and its spicy sibling, the R3X. They'll likely be built in that Georgia facility starting in late 2026 or 2027. The crossover is about 5 inches shorter than the R2. The R3X will have a tri-motor powertrain with rugged components and playful design with bold material choices including cork. These announcements renewed my excitement for Rivian's future.
What do you think of the R2? Would you reserve one? Another California automaker also made a splash with something new recently. Last weekend at the Amelia Island Concours d'Elegance, Karma Automotive revealed a vehicle they claim is unlike any other. Newly appointed president of Karma Automotive, Marquez McCammon, said, "The Gyesera is distinctive because the powertrain calibration is different, the software that drives the system is different, especially 0 to 60 speeds. The cornering is different, and the chassis setup is different." I'd have to say the Gyesera is totally unique, unless you count the 2011 Fisker Karma, the 2017 Karma Revero, or the Karma GS6, or VLF Destino, or Draco Motors GTE. Am I forgetting any other vehicles marketed as totally unique with the same chassis, design language, and interior? A lot of my time between 2016 and 2018 was spent touring North America, training dealerships, filming new user orientation and other videos, and conducting thousands of test drives as a product expert for Karma Automotive. I do think Henrik Fisker's design is still beautiful, but it sure doesn't look new to me. Will it be a success with 250 miles of range, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.2 seconds, 120 kilowatt hour battery pack, weighing in at 5,300 pounds? The price is a bit of a mystery. What would you pay? Speaking of refreshes, next week Porsche will unveil their Taycan Turbo GT, a new flagship performance EV. A pre-series version of this vehicle has been testing at the Nürburgring and has claimed a time of 7 minutes, 7 seconds, and 55 milliseconds. That is 26 seconds faster than Porsche's test driver's previous record in the Porsche Taycan S Sport, set in 2022. This reported time is just over 2 seconds behind the Rimac Nevera's record of 7 minutes, 5 seconds, and 298 milliseconds. We have heard the Turbo GT set some records here in the US too. I'm sure we'll learn more during the reveal on March 11th. I'll link it in the comments below. On to the next story. Tesla's manufacturing facility outside Berlin, Germany has suspended production because it's without power due to sabotage of public electrical infrastructure claimed by left-wing extremists named Vulcan Group. Tesla has applied to expand their factory operations and footprint by about 420 acres, clearing over 250 acres of trees on their property. The expansion would increase its maximum capacity from 500,000 cars to 1 million per year. Vulcan Group opposes the expansion, citing environmental concerns. The act of arson has cut power to over 2,000 local residents in addition to the factory. Experts estimate Tesla's losses to be nearly $250 million so far. On a brighter note, Nissan has dropped the starting price of their 2024 Ariya compact utility to $39,590, shaving $3,600 from their 2023 model. Higher trim level prices have been reduced by as much as $6,000. The Nissan Ariya is built in Japan, making it ineligible for the $7,500 US federal EV tax credit. There is a loophole for those who lease commercially, resulting in competitive monthly payments. My long-term, ultra-detailed review of the Nissan Ariya is linked below if you're considering it. Do you think this price reduction is enough for Nissan to compete with the other compact electric crossovers in the segment? Speaking of lower prices, according to a memo sent to dealers, Kia is offering $5,000 in customer cash on all 2024 EV9 trims. They're also reportedly offering a stackable $1,000 loyalty discount for $6,000 in savings. Kia's offering $7,500 in lease cash on EV9 leases too. Looks like Kia is doing what they can to create demand. They have sold just 2,726 units for the first 2 months of the year. The EV9 will eventually be built in Kia's West Point, Georgia manufacturing facility with a target of Q2 of this year and is expected to meet the requirements of the federal EV tax credit when production moves there. All right, on to the next. Gravity Inc., an EV fleet and charging infrastructure startup backed by Google, has installed 24 dispensers in Manhattan. Each of them is capable of delivering up to 500 kilowatts. This much power could deliver up to 200 miles of range in 5 minutes, making it one of the fastest public charging options available in the US, next to New's 750 to 1,500 kilowatts capable equipment in Arizona. Keep in mind, most EVs in the US market can't accept such high speeds, except the Rimac Nevera. The dispensers are about the size of a suitcase and are mounted to the ceiling of the parking garage. Gravity has said that utility upgrades were not required for this installation. Gravity claims the dispensers also include auto authentication for all vehicle types and no interface required to initiate the charging process, tap and go payment for on-demand payment, and they're bi-directional, ready to be able to send back energy to the building or grid as needed. Centers like this and the recently opened indoor Electrify America location in San Francisco will help urban drivers adopt EVs much quicker and more practically. I personally only recommend EV ownership to those who have access to convenient and affordable overnight charging, but these kinds of locations are important. I've saved this to my EV's navigation to check it out next time I visit New York City. I'll add the address to the Gravity Charging Center in this video's description so you can too. Well, that does it for this week's edition of The Current. Let me know in the comments what stories I might look into for next week's episode. Please consider subscribing and sharing this video if you found some value in this coverage. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.